Chapter 81, Joy is Fleeting. The kapok stick quickly spun with the support, and within moments mist appeared. Seeing this, he turned the wooden rod faster, the smoke grew thicker. Friction creates high heat, you must carefully place the tinder, and when blowing, adjust your breath. So Phong held the girl's hand, patiently teaching her how to spark fire. Thick smoke rose from the tinder, then flames shot up, and the fire was lit. He never expected her to start fire alone, since Van Haan's weak hands could hardly create enough force, but learning a little was still good. She lowered her head, staring at the glowing ember in her palm, suddenly feeling defeated. What looked simple was so hard. Good, you prepare the pheasant, I will cover the shelter. So Phong noticed her brief disappointment and did not comfort her much. He knew her well, she had been independent since childhood, such feelings came only from a temporary failure, and she would soon adjust herself. Leave it to me, I will handle it quickly, very soon we will have roasted pheasant. Van Haan held the hatchet, looking fierce. So Phong's mouth twitched, she adjusted faster than expected, her frustration lasted less than a minute. He placed palm leaves on the frame, loose enough just to block the sun. Already done? Van Haan was stunned, the pheasant feathers were not even plucked yet, and the wooden tent was ready. She looked up at the roof, finding many holes, indeed it was just a sunshade. How many fish did you get? So Phong asked curiously. 12 fish, at first there were more. She glanced at the shore where birds pecked at fish, pouting, the rest were badly pecked, I did not take them. It is fine, taking 12 fish is still good. So Phong smiled, reassuring her. That is true. Van Haan laughed. Her mood shifted quickly, sometimes a little complaint, but mostly just unwillingness. Eat half these fish, dry the rest. So Phong arranged. Ah? Eat 6 fish at once? Van Haan was surprised, acting like a caring wife, isn't that too much? We still have 3 small octopuses, 5 crabs, and 1 pheasant. It is 2 meals a day, do you plan to eat all at once? So Phong rolled his eyes. Van Haan shrank back, obediently handling the pheasant. To grill octopus, only the army shovel can do. So Phong washed it in the sea, also cleaned fish, gutted them, then strung them on rope for roasting. The pheasant is ready. Van Haan held the bloody bird, her face calm. Having learned from the old matron, killing poultry and fish was nothing scary, to her it was just a grand feast. Go wash your hands, we will roast with charcoal. So Phong said naturally. Go, just avoid the forest. He reminded. No problem. Van Haan waved and ran off. The army shovel is truly multi-use. So Phong sighed, set it on the coals, laid octopus on it. He carved bamboo skewers, started stringing fish and pheasant, while the iron pot held 2 fish and all crabs, for crabfish soup. SSSHHH. Without oil, the taste is lacking. He flipped the octopus now and then. SSS. The roasting fish and pheasant sizzled. The fish belly has oil, and pheasant has fat too. He looked down at the fire. He thought for a moment, sighed, if only we had a boar. I am back. Van Haan carried 7 or 8 lemons. Come, watch this, I will check the fish trap. So Phong stood up. The trap had been in the sea for over half an hour, time for harvest. Go, I will handle this. Van Haan quickly flipped the meat. So Phong walked to the shore, pulled the trap, his face grew grim. He looked at 8 fresh fish on the ground, and said heavily, Joy is short, the school has begun to scatter. Too late, if 2 days earlier, surely we could catch 100 fish. He sighed, reset the trap, tossed it back into the sea. If fishing only gave food for a day, survival was hard, eventually there would be no fish, only hunger. His goal was to sustain, store food slowly, and live through this time. He turned to the forest, spoke low, hunting must be on the plan. He carried the fish back. Ah! 8 carp. Van Haan cheered. the grilled fish and octopus are done. She turned the pheasant, nudged So Phong, add some lemon juice, it will taste better. No problem. He cut the lemons and dripped juice over the food. Chapter 82, Will So Phong go hunting? The live stream hall was ready, but the camera had not yet switched to the challengers. It only showed Vong Lam, No Tin Noyet and Ha Min chatting while Tay Vai Din sat quietly listening. Such relaxed chats took place after every broadcast, to attract more viewers into the live room and heat up the atmosphere, letting the team know what audiences wanted. Finally it is live, we can see the two goddesses again. The calm demeanor of the warrior goddess is truly captivating. I cannot wait to hear the voice of Goddess Tin Noyet. Teacher Vong, if you could bring one person to survive in the wild, who would you choose? Ha Min asked curiously. Whom would I choose? Vong Lam was stunned, then thought, perhaps the delicate girl. Her survival skills are excellent, if not for her younger sister. Yes, her sister is indeed a problem, so no one values them. Ha Min sighed. Among the 100 teams, not all were loved, many had very low popularity, and that sister pair was one of them. Then besides that team? Who else would you choose? No Tin Noyet asked suddenly. Zhao Loi, his survival skills are better, his mind is rational, better than his brother Zhao Lei. Vong Lam answered quickly. Ah. Why not So Phong? I think their team is the most optimistic now. No Tin Noyet exclaimed. No, temporary luck does not mean it will last. Vong Lam shook his head. Yesterday he had asked some fishermen friends, who told him that near Shin Noyet Island, carp schools come to spawn in autumn. But fish do not stay long, only 7 or 8 days, at most half a month. This time they had already stayed nearly half a month, so at most 1 or 2 days more. Without that fish school, with their current way, So Phong and Van Han would struggle more and more. The main issue is they do not save food, they eat without restraint, with this method they cannot last long. Vong Lam analyzed. In truth, he felt So Phong was too young, lacking credibility, because wild survival needs knowledge accumulated over time. Alright, let us stop here, now let us see the challengers' morning. Ha Min smiled. The director had reminded him that another highlight was coming. The camera changed, showing a wooden barrel, then slowly moved down, revealing 2 familiar figures. So Phong spread washed palm leaves on the sand, placed grilled fish on them, then placed octopus on an iron plate, and a pot of fish soup was simmering. The roasted wild chicken is also good. Van Han brought the chicken and stored it. Breakfast with 4 meat dishes, like a year-end feast. Is it too extravagant? So Phong asked, surprised, looking at the grilled fish, then moved 4 aside, let us keep these for tonight. No problem. Van Han smiled brightly. Let me taste. She took a piece with chopsticks, frowned, it has little flavor, just sour. Maybe too much lemon juice. So Phong tore the chicken and handed her a drumstick, eat the drumstick, this is today's main dish. Hee hee, you eat too. Van Han smiled softly, taking small bites. The grilling is not bad. So Phong gave a thumbs up, ignoring the fishy taste. Then eat more. Van Han's smile grew brighter. Are they planning to quit? Eating all their food? Ha Min asked in shock. Am I right? Vong Lam grinned, glancing at No Tin Noyet. At this rate, in less than 10 days they will be eliminated. But they still have many horned beans, eating a little is fine? No Tin Noyet hesitated. No, in wild survival, all resources must be saved, to face surprises. Vong Lam said with the voice of experience. In fact, he was right, and that was one reason he was famous internationally. But if I were to pick a team, I would choose So Phong, at least they will not go hungry. No Tin Noyet pouted. What about Vai Din, who would you pick? Ha Min asked. Her choice was similar, at least they would not starve, not needing to eat insects. Ah. The 3 were surprised, not expecting Tay Vai Din to pick So Phong too. So Phong already has 2 votes. Ha Min laughed. Their food is finished, what next? Vong Lam spread his hands. He had noticed the two did not save food these days, as if enjoying a feast. They could go hunting. No Tin Noyet replied. But until now, So Phong has shown no hunting skills, only rope making. Vong Lam said coolly. That. No Tin Noyet was speechless, because it was true. Without hunting, it is very hard to last a year. Vong Lam had the most authority, having survived 3 months in the program. Everything edible was tried, but some caused diarrhea if eaten too much. The key was hunting skills, thanks to which he hunted wild goats and endured. To ease the tense air, Ha Min said, let time prove it. Chapter 83, My Own Reason. Take a little rest. After eating his fill, So Phong sat lazily, unwilling to move. So Phong, wait a moment, what should I do? Is it still smoked fish? Van Han asked while cleaning the fish bones. You stay here watching the traps, about half an hour check once, then smoke the fish. So Phong stood up, drew a shadow of the sun on the sand and said, time is based on this mark, one interval is about 15 minutes. A bell rang. Understood, leave it to me. Van Han listened intently. I will bring back some bamboo, in the coming days we will complete the shelter. So Phong looked at the pile of logs, among them were usable bamboo. The fresh fish numbers were decreasing, according to his knowledge, later it would be even less, so he had to turn to hunting. He thought to take advantage of now, first fix the water source, then hunt and build a new shelter. Yes, I know. Van Han nodded gently. I will be careful. She smiled softly. Talk. So Phong took a bamboo tube, drank, then went to collect bamboo. He picked the thick ones with dense walls. This one can be used as a bamboo spear, its power must be great. He looked at a stalk as thick as a thigh, tapped it and heard a dull sound. It is still fresh, likely drifted here recently. He decided to take it, smiled, a good material for making a bow, tonight I will try. Crack sounds came. He cut branches, tied it, and carried it back. Over 40 minutes later, he returned, threw it down, checked the shelter, found the fish safe, then added wood to continue smoking. Almost forgot to feed the rabbits. He saw 2 gray-white rabbits in the cage, put grass inside. He licked his lips, eat more, grow fat, if you give birth it will be better. In the wild grass is plenty, if you reproduce it is really good for us. Going out, looking at the bamboo, he sighed, still need to go more trips. Without patience, one would quit, preferring to risk fetching water daily. That thought arose, he immediately dismissed. Hoo. He returned, body bent, hands on knees panting, sweat dripping. He wiped his forehead, hoarse voice, probably enough. It is not early. After resting 10 minutes, he went to the shore, to fetch the girl before dark. Arriving, he saw her tying 5 carp with rope. It is fine, it is impossible to harvest so much fish every day. He took the bamboo tube to comfort her. She thought it was her fault, yesterday with 3 traps they caught over 40 fish, today 5 traps only 25. It is fine, the fish schools are leaving. He explained, the spawning season is ending, later there will be fewer, maybe none, only other kinds. NK books. Is that so? Van Han looked blankly at him, as if searching. True, not lying. He nodded firmly. In fact, he did not expect them to retreat so fast, today only half of yesterday, tomorrow maybe none. That is good, I thought it was my fault. She sighed in relief, the sadness gone. Pack up, prepare to return, it is getting dark. He urged. Yes. She happily gathered. Second watch. Chapter 84, A Little Surprise. The two returned to the camp when the sky was already dark. They could only see a few meters ahead, and from afar everything was covered in mist. We came back late today. So Phong stored the smoked fish and the engineer's shovel, then told the girl, get the clothes, prepare to wash up. Is it too late already? Van Han looked at the gloomy sky, worried that in a few minutes it would be fully dark. It is fine, just be careful. So Phong shook his head, pulled a burning stick from the fire. Wait for me, just a moment. Van Han smiled, quickly running to fetch clothes. In less than 2 minutes, the girl returned with clothes and charcoal powder in hand. Let us go. So Phong led the way with the burning stick, taking her to the waterfall. Oh. Now she was learning wilderness skills, many careful actions were already engraved in her mind. Vi 6. So Phong chopped drywood with his axe, lit a fire by the pond so she could wash clothes. Sure enough, the water issue must be solved soon. So Fong's voice grew heavy. They had been strictly rationing water, at night they could not fetch it, not even brushing teeth or washing hands. Like today, if delayed, they could not bathe at all. If water could be drawn to the camp, then washing vegetables, clothes, and bathing would be simple. So Phong, it is your turn to bathe. Van Han's face was pale, she carried her changed clothes over. Is the water too cold? So Phong frowned. Yes, very cold, but it is quick. So Phong nodded, took the clothes and powder, entered the wooden stall. Sang sang. When he poured water over himself, his whole body trembled. Tay. The cold water made him choke, his heart almost jumped out, only after a while could he adapt. Indeed too late, the water is colder than daytime. No, next time Van Han must not bathe in such cold water, otherwise she will catch a cold, especially after retiring day. He muttered to himself. Getting sick in the wild was dangerous, if not for strong health, the only choice would be to leave. Leaving the stall, he handed the washed clothes to the girl, seeing her pale face, he quickly added wood to the fire. So Phong, do not add more, I am almost done. Van Han reminded. It is fine, the water will douse it soon. So Phong waved his hand. All right. Van Han nodded, hurriedly washing undergarments with charcoal powder. Without soap or brush, she could only clean that way. Done. She hugged the clothes, urging, outside is too dangerous, let us return to the shelter. All right. So Phong put out the fire with water, then led her back to camp. Van Han leaned close, her hand occasionally brushing his waist. Seeing her pale face and timid eyes, he quickened his steps. The shelter is still the best. Van Han put down the clothes, sighed in relief, the forest at night is frightening. Let us make some fish soup to warm the stomach. So Phong placed a pot, put in 2 smoked fish. Save some, do we not still have grilled fish? Van Han pouted. Just this time. So Phong smiled, yet his eyes showed worry, her face was too pale from cold. He took the axe, picked a bamboo piece, split it into small sticks. What are you making? Van Han asked curiously. You will know soon. He smiled, treating it as a small surprise. In minutes, 3 bamboo sticks were fixed to a rope. What are you making? Her eyes sparkled. Wait a little longer. He focused on his work. He twisted the rope with bamboo into a spiral form. What is this? Van Han asked in wonder. Can you not guess? He smiled, finishing the last step. Oh come on, stop being mysterious. She pouted playfully. He whispered, touched, it is a comb. A comb? Van Han froze, staring at the rope twisted into a circle with bamboo teeth, indeed a comb. Do you not like it? So Phong held it out. I like it very much. She happily snatched it, clutching it tightly. Truly a small joy, how could she not like it? Chapter 85, Crafting the Bow and Arrows. In the wilderness for 1 year, they could not live like primitives. Well, I will try once. Han smiled like a flower, nodded, and took the bamboo comb to brush her long black hair. Does it work? Phong asked nervously. Very well, it brushes smoothly. Han nodded firmly, her tone full of admiration. Phong, your hands are so skillful, you even made this comb." She was delighted, since her long hair often tangled and troubled her. She had even thought of cutting it short. But remembering Phong preferred girls with long hair, she gave up that idea. "As long as it works." Phong breathed a sigh of relief. Making this comb was only a sudden thought. Using a wood chopping knife to craft it was crude, it could break after a few uses. "Phong, let me brush your hair too." Han stood up and approached. "All right." Phong smiled and nodded, sitting upright to let the girl brush his hair. "You must brush many times, so that no parasites hide inside." Han teased. Fang's eyes twitched. Did she suspect lice in his hair? Gurgle gurgle. The iron pot boiled. "Ah, the fish soup is ready." Han rushed to lift the lid. A seafood aroma spread. "Let us eat dinner." Phong placed the roasted fish from the morning over the fire to reheat. "The soup is milky white," Han exclaimed, taking a bamboo bowl to scoop. They sat on a stone, facing each other by the fire, eating a simple dinner. "Phong, tomorrow shall we go to the beach again?" Han asked while chewing fish. "Not for now, tomorrow we clean the shelter." Phong shook his head, glancing at the smoked fish above the fire, and said softly, "These are enough for a long time, we should prepare the dwelling well first." The wild was already harsh. If the dwelling was poor, life would be worse. "All right." Han nodded thoughtfully, also dissatisfied with the shelter, especially since they ate without a table. "Eat quickly, cold food is not tasty." Phong drank soup and bit roasted fish. Remembering city days with porridge and pickles, now was not too bad. They chatted while eating, discussing future plans, and dinner lasted half an hour. "Phong, do we still handle the fresh fish today?" Han took out a pile. "Yes, hang them all." Phong nodded. "Are you making bamboo tubes again?" Han asked casually. The shelter was already full of bamboo, used to store goods, since they had no other containers. "No, to make a longbow." Phong frowned. He picked a suitable bamboo with the engineer's shovel and sawed it. His face twitched, as if recalling something embarrassing. Han narrowed her eyes, smiling. "I recall when you were little, you shouted about shooting 9 suns, right?" "No, you think too much. How could I be so childish?" Phong quickly denied. As a child he loved martial arts and myth dramas, sneaking into the head nurse's room to watch TV. Behind him followed a little tail, this girl, who also shouted she wanted to be a heroine. "Ha ha ha." Han covered her mouth laughing, shoulders shaking, face red, clearly recalling her own childishness. The atmosphere grew warm, both busy with work. The girl continued sewing the bag from last night. Crack crack. The chopping knife scraped the rough edges of the bamboo, making it smooth. After shaping the bamboo into a bow, next was the string, the most important part. Phong chose a tough bark, made it into bowstring, hard to break. Rustle rustle. He carefully twisted strands. If wrong he restarted, ensuring uniform string for accuracy. Half an hour later, he had a finished string, placing it beside a rope. Next is mounting the string. Phong took a deep breath, placed one end of the bow in a rock crevice, bent it with force, and set the string. He sighed, "Done." "Already done?" Han asked curiously, eyes bright on the bow. "Not yet, I must adjust both limbs to be symmetrical, so they bear force evenly and not break." Phong shook his head. Without adjustment, one side bent more, weakening the bow and risking breakage. He shaved the belly of the bow to balance both limbs. "Phong, when did you learn this?" Han asked. "Ah, I learned it from videos." Phong replied casually. Chapter 86, Elixir. She had always thought she understood So Phong well, but lately she realized that was not the case. He seemed more mysterious, knowing many things, more reliable and even more intriguing. "Did you finish the bag?" So Phong changed the subject. He would never reveal the secret of the system, this lifetime only he knew, not even death would make him share it. It is done, I will show you. Van Han stood up quickly, bringing out the bag woven from rope. The bag was as big as a pillow, the rope varied in quality, yet it was good enough to carry things without issue. Very good, from now on carry this bag when you go out. So Phong raised his thumb in praise. Then I will weave a few more, from now on we each take one. Van Han tilted her head, looking at the bag in her hand, her face full of pride. Carrying things by hand had limits, with a backpack it would be easier to explore and bring prey back. Maybe I should also weave a bamboo frame? She thought aloud. Of course, it is sturdier than a rope bag. So Phong nodded. Then I need to carve some bamboo strips. She worried that if they cut the bamboo water pipes, so Phong would need to drag more bamboo back, which was too exhausting. Those small bamboos will work. At first he cut them for baskets, now they could be used for a frame as well. As long as it works, it is fine. Van Han sighed in relief. Van Han, help me make another pair of rope shoes, this pair is worn out. So Phong lifted his foot, showing the frayed sole. He had walked the whole day, it was lucky the shoes had not fallen apart completely. Already? It is fine, I rested many times along the way. So Phong tapped his feet, showing he was fine. But was he truly fine? A full day of mountain paths could not leave one unscathed. Without the elixir still at work, his legs would already be sore and heavy. Next time do not push yourself so hard, you might collapse for days. Van Han pouted, scolding but also feeling pity. If not for the broken shoes, she would not know how much he had endured. A normal person might need 3 days to carry such bamboo. Understood, Commander. So Phong gave a mock salute. I am serious, and you tease me. Van Han rolled her eyes, worried, and said, we still have 1 year, no need to rush. I will pace myself. So Phong answered gently. Today he pushed himself because he felt the elixir speeding his recovery. He once thought the effect would last 1 month, but now it seemed only 10 days. Looking down, he noticed faint abs, though still light, in just a few days they had already appeared, soon he would have a perfect physique. He realized he was wrong before, when his belly shrank a little and lines appeared, he thought foolishly they were 4 abs. Oh! Van Han saw him glance at his belly, she peeked too, blushing, then quickly turned away and whispered, I did not expect even his abs to show. She hurried to weave rope, preparing new shoes for him. So Phong raised his eyes, set aside the bamboo bough, and chose 5 branches as thick as his thumb. First peel off the bark, or it will harm accuracy. He skinned the wood, smoothed the knots, then shook his head and muttered, forget stone arrowheads, burning them into charcoal will make them hard enough. After over 20 minutes, 5 branches became half-carbonized arrowheads, much harder than just sharpening wood. Then he worked on feathers, the arrows should not have long feathers, or they would lose speed. 1 pheasant feather made 1 arrow, divided into 4 pieces, tied symmetrically to the shaft. Binding feathers was delicate, he spent over half an hour to finish 5. Finally done. So Phong stretched, turning to see the girl still weaving shoes. He now only lacked a quiver, the easiest to make. A bamboo tube was already nature's quiver, just clear the joints and tie a rope. Within minutes, 1 quiver was ready. Stuff some grass inside, that will keep the arrows from slipping out. So Phong said with a smile. Chapter 87, Eliminating the Risk. Go to sleep now, the shoes can be braided tomorrow. Su Phong advised. Just a little more and I am done. Yun Han shook her head, forcing her eyes open, clumsily stitching the shoe sole with her small hands. Achoo! As soon as she spoke, she sneezed. All right, go to bed quickly. Su Phong sighed, taking the shoes from her hands. The night grew colder, the jacket and fire were not enough to keep the body warm. Just missing the last bit. Yun Han pouted, raising her head to look at Su Phong, her usually bright eyes now heavy. If I do not finish something in the day, I will lie awake at night. She spoke weakly, her flushed face lit by the fire, but Su Phong held her hand firmly and pulled her up. It will not. He smiled, leading her out of the shelter toward the small wooden hut by the latrine. After a day of fatigue, sleep came easily. Yun-han blushed, gently pulled away from his hand, and ran inside, embarrassed like a little girl afraid to go alone. The night sky is beautiful. Phong looked up, trying to ignore the sounds. Come on, it is too cold outside, he urged, feeling his body tremble slightly. Yes. Yun-han answered softly, returned to the shelter, drank a sip of water, then crawled into her sleeping bag. She removed her jacket, stored it neatly, then looked at his figure by the fire. Her cheeks flushed, she whispered softly, Phong, are you not asleep yet? She sneezed again, curled into the sleeping bag, her voice hoarse, then I will wait for you to sleep together. Phong stiffened, sighed, added wood to the fire, then carried his bow inside. He removed his coat, took off his shoes, and lay in the sleeping bag, immediately feeling the girl's body tense. They had not slept side by side for long, always avoiding awkwardness, perhaps also a tacit understanding. Why suddenly? He had not finished, when she dove into his arms, pressing her face to his chest, rubbing gently. So warm, she murmured. He felt her strangeness, whispering at her ear, what is wrong? Are you uncomfortable? If tomorrow I get a fever, do not leave, I will recover. Her hoarse voice was restrained. Indeed, she felt dizzy, perhaps from cold water. Knowing his nature, if she fell ill, he might leave, so she spoke early, not wanting to be eliminated. Phong frowned, hugged her tightly, and said softly, then get well soon. She feared sickness would cause elimination. Now they were living well, smoked fish in abundance, enough to last a month. Yes, I will get better. His stern face softened, pressing his forehead to hers, breaths mingling. I surely will. She blushed deeply, then hid in his chest like a frightened deer. It was their first intimate moment, she was shy, but more afraid of passing her illness to him. He quietly embraced her, feeling her body warm with slight fever. Time passed slowly, she listened to his heartbeat, her eyes heavy, until sleep took her. A mild cold can be cleared by the immune system. Hearing her breath, he murmured, if the body is too weak, it worsens. He was unsure if her body could fight off the virus, if not, her condition would worsen. At this late hour, nothing could be done. I wonder if the strengthening medicine would help. He pondered. Whatever the case, if she worsened tomorrow, he would try, unwilling to give up. But sickness cannot be avoided, no one can guarantee never falling ill. Those new to the wilderness, unaccustomed to the harshness, mostly fall sick. He guessed more challengers were eliminated by illness than by giving up, especially with winter approaching, many caught colds and failed. Nature is like that, bringing joy one moment, terror the next. Chapter 88, Hard to Forget Even in Death. Early in the morning, the sky was gloomy with scattered rain, and the usual birdsong that disturbed dreams was gone. Cough, cough, cough. A painful cough echoed from the shelter. 1 second later, he reacted, lowering his head to see the girl in his arms, her head resting on his arm, brows furrowed as if bearing pain. Carefully, Phong placed his hand on her forehead, then on his own to compare. His face grew tense, his voice hoarse, fever. It was the worst case, if her illness worsened it would be serious, otherwise just a cold, one night's sleep might help. Cough, cough, cough. Van Han coughed unconsciously, her brows tightened more, breathing heavier. Phong slightly opened his mouth, gently brushed between her brows with his thumb. Seeing her pale face, he carefully pulled his arm away, deciding to find herbs to make medicine for her. Phong. Feeling his arm move away, Van Han woke, eyes barely open, voice hoarse, I am fine, do not leave. Her obsession now was fear of being abandoned, the first thing she said was begging him not to go. I will not leave, you rest, I will fetch herbs to boil for you. Phong hurried to comfort. Forcing her eyes half open, pale face, she whispered, just a small fever, after sleeping I will be fine. Yes, let me sleep more. He nodded heavily, poked her cheek, spoke softly, sleep, maybe the cold will pass when you wake. Yes. Van Haan's dry lips curved into a faint smile of relief. Frowning, So Phong quietly slipped from the sleeping bag, adjusted it carefully to keep her warm. Her lips curved gently, she murmured, "Wear your jacket, do not let rain soak you." "I will, do not worry." He put on the jacket, picked up his bow. Drip drop. He entered the wooden hut, lit the torch again, warming the place. "Find some mint, or other herbs." He mumbled, turned, met Van Haan's gaze, said, "Do not come out, just rest." "Who?" He inhaled deeply, stepped outside, raindrops tapping his jacket. Holding bow and knife, he entered the forest, eyes searching the ground where plants were sparse. After 15 minutes, he cried, finally found it. He had gathered mint, quickly cut a bundle. Mint was a common herb, curing colds, headaches, sore throat, red eyes. It also treated itchy skin, rash, and when brewed as tea, cleared the mind, brightened vision. They had found mint before, but busy fishing, the rest had withered. Better bring this back for Van Haan. He gave up searching more, knowing illness could not wait. Returning was quicker, in 8 minutes he was back, washed mint, placed in the iron pot. Adding firewood, he muttered, "Boil fast." "So Phong." Van Haan's hoarse voice called. "No, not that." Her pale face flushed red, stammering. "It is not that." She bit her lip, eyes flicking, then shyly closed them, murmured, I need the toilet. Even the sick must relieve themselves." He froze, sending her out would chill her. Van Haan bit her lip, face flushed, avoiding his gaze in shame. "Humans must eat, sleep, relieve." Crack! Minutes later, he made 2 bamboo tubes 10 centimeters long. He handed them calmly, "Later we fetch water, I will guide you." "All right." Her face burned red, she grabbed them, slipped back inside the bag. Hugging the bamboo, she thought bitterly, "Now I just want tofu to smash myself, how can I face him later?" Today's matter, she feared even death could not erase. Looking at the bag, So Phong smirked wickedly, "A little man? Or a woman?" Cough cough. Blushing, Van Haan whispered faintly, Little man." He raised his head to the 3 hovering cameras, seeing all lenses aimed at him, then strode toward the pond. Chapter 89, Bringing Prey Back. "Really, the little lowly fell ill. What sickness is it?" Seeing So Phong return with mint, "I guess it is a common cold." Finished, just as Wan Lin said, "The little lowly pair will be eliminated. Yesterday she was so lively, how is she sick today?" The mischievous girl remarked, "Doyu times 1, Van Haan must hold on. Why does So Phong bring 2 bamboo tubes for the little lowly?" Ha ha ha. Drip drip sounds. So Phong gazed at the forest rain, cheered a little by Van Haan's mischief. The waterfall above has not been explored yet. He stopped by the pond, looked up at the tall fall, and murmured, "Hope there is food above." Thinking of the girl hiding, he did not linger, carried the bucket of water back. "I am back." He called at the sheltered door. "Yes." Van Haan answered with a drawn tone. He paused, then entered, saw her slip back into her sleeping bag, probably finished with her need. He did not ask to avoid her embarrassment, set down the bucket, and checked the pot of mint water. Clang clang clang. The pot boiled, steam pushed the lid. "It should be almost ready," he whispered. Using bamboo as a ladle, he scooped a bowl, stirred to cool it. Moments later. "It is fine now, not burning." He tried and found the taste pleasant. Bringing it near the sleeping bag, he said, "Van Haan, drink some mint water." She answered weakly, face flushed, lowered eyes, and reached out shy hands for the bowl. "Do not cover your head, the air will not flow," he reminded. I know." Her voice was hoarse. He glanced around, found a bamboo mat corner covered by weeds, clearly her private spot. He stayed silent, not touching it. Finished drinking. She noticed his glance, felt tense, but he turned away, only asked, "Want another bowl?" "Yes, another one." She sighed relief, whispering, "Mint water is very good." "Your throat is likely inflamed, drink as much as needed," he said and filled another. "I know." She nodded softly, frail. "I will store the pot in bamboo beside you, drink when thirsty." He placed it near. She blinked blankly, then recalled too much water meant needing the toilet. What is wrong? He thought, is she uncomfortable there? Really nothing? He pressed. Good, I will give you mint fish soup too. He whispered. Fine. She touched her belly, uneasy. He realized, smiled, wait, I will find more herbs outside. He wanted her some space, also to find nourishing food. Ah, rain is falling, you will still go? She asked, surprised. It is fine, I have a rain jacket. He tugged it. Be careful then, she said softly. Relax, I have bow and arrows. He smiled, maybe I can catch prey for you. Not waiting for reply, he cooked breakfast, smoked fish with mint. 20 minutes later, fish soup was ready. He poured 2 bowls, brought the pot beside her. Eat, with illness you must eat more. And you? She frowned. I ate already, there are 2 bowls by the fire. He pointed. Then, that is good. She forced a smile, clearly knowing he yielded. She did not argue, quietly ate the soup. His lips curved, pleased by her. He quickly finished his share, watched her slowly eat from the sleeping bag. In a city, a pill or injection would cure swiftly, no need for such care. But in the wild, caution is never enough. Yes, with this drizzle, I will search around for herbs, may take 2 or 3 hours. He spoke low. He sought nourishing and cold healing herbs. I understand. He smiled warmly, took bow and axe, and stepped into the rainy forest. Chapter 90, Delivered to the Doorstep. The sky was covered by dark clouds, drizzle fell making people restless. Why is it raining, eh? Lu Waimong angrily grabbed her hair, looking around only to see wet scenery. With the rain falling, today the two went hunting. The reason was safer, since most beasts were hiding. Wear your hood properly, or you might catch a cold. Lu Wai Thursday pulled the hood for her sister. Sister, going hunting in the rain is not a good choice. Lu Wai Mong pouted. We are just scouting around, now there is no sun, the beasts are hiding, this is the best time to act. Lu Wai Thursday explained calmly. Really? Lu Wai Mong doubted, staring at her sister's face. Really, watch your step. Lu Wai Thursday pretended to be angry, patting her sister's bottom. She did regret a bit, but it was her analysis and plan. They had no other way, these days without meat, only mangoes and wild greens, their stomachs and tongues could not endure. As for bamboo rats, forget it, their skills were poor, they could not catch even one. Where do we go now? Lu Waimong looked confused, everywhere was forest, nothing different. First make marks, so we do not lose the way. Lu Wai Thursday carefully carved an arrow on a tree with her knife. So we go straight east? Lu Wai Mong pointed. Yes, be careful underfoot, do not step on snakes. Lu Wai Thursday warned. Got it. Lu Wai Mong answered, holding her bow leading the way. Me-oh-oh. A branch snapped back, striking her bottom, making her grimace, that hurts, eh? She rubbed her backside, knowing a red mark must be there, just like when mother beat her as a child. Told you to be careful, still not listening. You be careful too. Lu Wai Mong took a deep breath, thankful for her jacket, ducking the next branch. Okay. Lu Wai Thursday opened the path with her knife, but her strength with a short blade was not enough in the forest. Finally, they could only use sticks to probe the way, slipping through gaps, moving faster. For over an hour, the twin sisters advanced while bickering, not feeling too tired. Ah, sister, is that a mound? Lu Waimong cried excitedly, spotting through the trees. let's go quickly. Hoo-hoo. Luwai Thursday panted, watching her energetic sister, thinking helplessly, simple-minded, yet strong. Sister, you should exercise, always staying in the greenhouse at college will make you dull. Luwai Mong scolded. I was doing research. Luwai Thursday snapped, annoyed her sister called her dull. Fine fine. Luwai Mong pouted. Come, let's see if we can catch prey. Luwai Thursday sighed, stepping forward. After a few minutes, they reached the mound's edge, exiting the forest, both stunned. Wow, so wide eh? Luwai Mong gasped, staring at the vast open land hundreds of meters across. Quiet, there is a deer herd. Luwai Thursday tugged her sleeve, pointing east, there are over 10 deer there. We want to hunt deer? Luwai Mong asked with bright eyes. We cannot, the herd is too cautious. Luwai Thursday shook her head. Watching carefully, she saw the herd took turns, some ate grass while others kept watch. No way, we cannot just rush in? Luwai Thursday spread her hands. She wanted to catch a deer, enough for many days, but lacked the ability. So what now, just watch. Luwai Mong gripped her bow, the distance too far, arrows would miss. Observe more, set traps. Luwai Thursday was unwilling to give up. Too late. Luwai Mong glanced around, whispering, Sister, do you think behind that hill there are others? Maybe one day. Luwai Mong blinked, that long? We came from the bamboo forest, it took so long yet only a short distance. Luwai Thursday sighed, the forest was too hard. Alright, just thinking, if no prey, we find another place. Luwai Mong looked at the herd, feeling helpless. Do not despair, persist and there is hope. Luwai Thursday encouraged. Sister, look there. Luwai Mong's voice trembled. They saw a pack of red wolves. 5 in total rushed from the bushes, surrounding the deer. Sister, what now? Luwai Mong asked nervously. Retreat, back into the forest. Luwai Thursday whispered. Frightened, the sisters retreated step by step, fearing discovery. Inside the woods, they walked further before stopping. Hoo-hoo. Luwai Thursday patted her chest, still scared. Why are wolves here? The program is cruel. Luwai Mong's face was pale. Facing wolves, a mistake meant death. Grandpa. Sister, wait, sounds over there. Luwai Mong tensed, aiming her bow. Go, leave quickly. Luwai Thursday urged, fearing pursuit. But it was too late. Step. Swoosh. Reflexively, Luwai Mong loosed an arrow, killing a young deer instantly. This also works? Luwai Thursday widened her eyes. A second later, she rushed forward, grabbing the twitching deer, dragging it into cover. Chapter 91, Chicken Fat Mushroom. He had been away for more than 2 hours. Along the way he collected many wild vegetables and herbs, mixed with several other plants. After all, drones were filming above, with countless viewers watching. If the recipe leaked it would be a huge loss. Still missing wood ear and chicken fat mushroom. Phong muttered, this area had not been explored, many deadwoods lay around, after rain it was damp. He looked up at the hill, where a gully full of rocks and dead trees stretched all the way to the coast. This place must have had a landslide, or a flash flood. He analyzed calmly. Watching carefully, he thought, with such rainy weather, if unlucky, a landslide could happen at any time. Better leave quickly. He carried his full bag and continued exploring. Soon he reached the hill foot, glanced around, plenty of rotten wood, there should be wood ear. He stepped forward, searching for wood ear and chicken fat mushroom. Half an hour passed. Ah! Finally found it. On a decayed log he saw the familiar fungus. It was wood ear. In the city, supermarkets sell plenty, but in the forest it was harder, especially without knowing the land. After collecting, he looked up at the dark sky, rain still falling. Chicken fat mushroom, where are you? He muttered, scanning. Without Junhan talking, the air felt heavy, and the gloomy weather pressed harder. Crack, crack. He cut his way through, still staying near the hill foot, not wanting to go too far and risk returning late. Wild bananas? He rushed into the gully, found dozens of banana plants, lush and green, hanging with bunches of unripe fruit. He swung his knife, cut off the flowers, so the nutrition would go to the bananas, not the small shoots. Wild bananas need more than 10 days before harvest. He circled around, satisfied with this unexpected find. Boom! Rain clouds gathered. He had to find chicken fat mushroom quickly and return, or Yunhan would worry. Crack, crack. Cutting through, he searched carefully. After over 20 minutes finally found one chicken fat mushroom. Hoo. Finally found it. He gasped, squatted and picked it, carefully storing in his rope bag. Looking around saw no more, he sighed. Return now, even one mushroom is enough for a pot. Crack, crack. Choosing direction, he moved back. As he reached the hill foot, rain poured harder. Pitter patter. Through the hazy rain, the forest blurred, but his heart felt light. Ingredients were enough, though the main mushroom was scarce, still a good start. Snap. He swiftly raised bow, arrow aimed toward the sound. A deer appeared, walking on the hill slope. A deer? There is deer here? Eyes lit, he hurried to follow. Good news, this hill has deer, next time I can hunt. Watching it vanish, he turned back. A deer, if eaten sparingly, could feed 2 people for 10 days, pure protein, with antlers even better. Searching plants slowed him, but on the way back he focused, soon reaching camp. Finally back. He stepped from forest, looked at the shelter and rain, felt calm. Approaching, still a short distance, he called, I am back. Ah. All right. He shrugged, easily guessing what the girl was doing. He looked at 3 drones above, all following his route. In the wooden shed another camera faced the forest, beside it the rain pattered, making the day seem uneventful yet still watched. Chapter 92, Let me take a look. She never expected that just after leaving the toilet, so Phong would return, and if he had walked straight in she could not imagine how embarrassing it would be. Stepping into the wooden hut, So Phong first glanced at the sleeping bag. His eyes met the young girl and he gently asked, How are you? Feeling dizzy? Much better. The girl blushed and quickly looked away. Is the mint water finished? While putting down his gear, So Phong asked, After drinking, did you feel any better? I just finished it, my head is not as dizzy. Van Han replied hoarsely. Let me take a look. So Phong set everything aside, removed his hat, and stepped closer. He knelt down halfway, noticing the girl's flushed face and even a faint unusual scent in the air. Yet he said nothing more, for caring for a patient meant not only tending the body but also the spirit. You should rest first. Van Han said softly with a reddened face. Sitting here is also resting. So Phong chuckled, stood, and began sorting through what he had brought back. He adjusted the camera to face the fire, then sat on a rock to handle wild vegetables and herbs. While preparing them, he occasionally hid a special herb in his palm to add later, just in case his recipe might be revealed. Some viewers might watch the survival show and suddenly want to try making the wild vegetable soup themselves. So Phong, is the rain outside getting heavier? Van Han tilted her head to listen. Yes, now it is pouring heavily. He lifted his gaze at the sky and added, It may last for quite a while. The storm was what he feared most, for their shelter could never withstand it. Do you still plan to go out? Van Han asked anxiously, her voice hoarse. Without So Phong nearby, she could not sleep peacefully, fearing beasts might come to hide from the rain. I will not go out. He shook his head, for he could still prepare things inside the hut. That is good then. She breathed a sigh of relief. Thump thump, the iron pot began boiling, water bubbling over. He first added tough mushrooms, for the nourishing recipe required order of ingredients. He suddenly thought of salt, but the sea salt he had brought was not yet purified. No matter, without salt it is still fine. He shook his head, for it was too late to process salt. After about 10 minutes, a pot of strengthening soup was done. Taste it first. He scooped a bit into a bamboo bowl, blew on it, and sipped. The very first mouthful widened his eyes in surprise. It tasted incredibly good, like chicken soup with a hint of squash, rich and complex. My stomach feels warm too. He frowned lightly. It smells wonderful. Van Han exclaimed, since when had wild vegetable soup smelled so good? Quickly eat this, your body will recover faster. He carried the pot near her sleeping bag. So many things. Van Han gasped at the contents of the pot. Drink it while hot, do not leave any. He handed her a bamboo bowl and chopsticks, for the nourishing recipe had no side effects, only slowly strengthening the body. We can endure without fish soup for now. He smiled faintly. Then I will quickly drink it all and return the pot to you. She blew and sipped. Just a second later she exclaimed in surprise, this soup is delicious, almost like chicken soup. Then eat more, the illness will pass faster. He reminded, then stepped back toward the hut. The drone camera recorded everything, and soon the live audience was in an uproar. What the heck is Phong doing? Out for so long, only to cook wild vegetable soup for the little lowly? Ha, the rich little witch goes online, huh? These guys are just jealous, that is all. The comments surged wildly, many not understanding Phong's purpose, thinking it foolish to feed sick Van Han wild vegetable soup, so they vented negativity. In the observation room, all eyes watched the pair closely. Teacher Wang, do you think Phong and Van Han will be eliminated? Ha Min asked under the director's cue. It is hard to say, but given Van Han's frail condition, it will be difficult for her to endure much longer. Wang Lin analyzed calmly. Falling sick in the wild, with harsh conditions, it was nearly impossible to fully recover, especially for a weak young girl. So you believe they will be eliminated? Ha Min pressed. About 70% chance. Wang Lin answered cautiously. But did Phong not gather herbs? Could he not cure Van Han's illness? Wu Qingyu frowned. Otherwise, saying they would be eliminated made sense, for surely Phong's effort in gathering herbs should not be wasted. So that is it. Wu Qingyu muttered, still reluctant. She liked how the two accompanied each other, feeling warm like childhood companions. Tai Bai Ding frowned, realizing among the herbs Phong used, some were ones she often used herself. Chapter 93, Removing the Salt. Van Han finished her meal, her heart vaguely thinking of Demi Tuesday. She was unsure if it was an illusion or care, but when eating the wild vegetable soup, her whole body felt warm and her head no longer heavy. Outside the rain poured down, Phong could not fetch water and did not want to stay idle. Filter the salt a little and it will be better. He held a bamboo tube full of sea salt, poured it into 3 others, then added some water so the salt dissolved. Next, make the filter. Phong took a bamboo tube, cut 2 cloth pieces, wrapped one end and tied it tight. He crushed charcoal, filled the tube, then sealed the other end with cloth. The filter is ready, wash the charcoal once first. He poured water through, black liquid came out, repeated twice until clear. Looking at the water, he said, from now on we filter once before drinking, it is safer. Has the salt dissolved? He shook the tube and saw it had mixed well. He cleaned the wooden bucket, poured filtered brine in. He tasted, still a bit bitter, filter again. After the final time, he stopped and looked at the girl, catching her dreamy eyes. Why staring blankly? He asked. No, nothing. Van Han blushed, as she had been lost in his focused face. Finished eating? He asked, glancing at the clean pot. Yes, the wild greens were delicious. She smiled. Her body felt warm, no longer weak or dizzy. Then next time I will cook again. He smiled, holding the pot to prepare brine. I feel better, may I leave the sleeping bag? She asked hopefully. No, stay until tomorrow. He refused firmly. Ah. She pouted, I know. Eat and then sleep a while. He waved. He hung the pot, poured brine, added wood to the fire. Really treat me like a pig. She frowned, watching his busy figure. Soon the brine boiled. He stirred with bamboo to let vapor escape faster. Cooking salt took time, meanwhile he hollowed bamboo joints to make water pipes. Broken through, he said, carving holes at the ends to connect firmly. He worked on bamboo pipes and stirred the brine again and again. Half an hour later, only thick brine remained. This is edible salt. He stirred, letting water evaporate faster. When only little was left, he stored it in a bamboo case to dry in the sun. Continue boiling brine, he muttered, refilling the pot with more brine and wood. Of course it will be fine, he replied confidently. To avoid sickness, better to bathe less. He was like one bitten by a snake, fearing even ropes. Why so? He asked, confused. Weather is getting colder, fewer baths reduce sickness. Van Han said earnestly. Do not worry about that. Then she asked curiously, are you using the pot to boil bath water? He shook his head, smiling mysteriously, wait until it is ready, you will know. Mysterious again. She pouted. Yet inside, she looked forward to it, for bathing in hot water in the wild was romantic. Chapter 94, Pretending to Sleep. Night descended, the rain had stopped, and wild beasts in the forest began to roar. Inside the shelter, Phong was cooking fish soup with plenty of wild greens. Phong, is it ready to eat? Van Han's weak voice called. She was a little hungry and her appetite had returned. Almost done, wait a bit. Phong stirred the soup with a bamboo ladle and added some salt from a bamboo tube. A while later he lifted the iron pot, carried 2 bamboo bowls, and entered the shelter, sitting near the sleeping bag. After lying all day, Van Han felt her bones aching. How do you feel? Phong set down the pot, touched her forehead, then compared it with his own. I feel much better, my head is no longer dizzy or painful, only my body is weak. The fever should have gone down. Phong smiled faintly, relieved. But your throat infection has not healed yet, you must be careful. Just a little sore, by tomorrow it will be fine. Her pretty face relaxed, no longer troubled as before. Let's eat dinner. Phong sat near the hay by the sleeping bag, filled a bowl of fish soup, and handed it to her. This. Van Han instinctively wanted to refuse. Eat obediently, nourish your body. Phong poked her cheek with his finger, sternly saying, you are weak now, you must eat more to recover, only then you will not get sick. Ah. Van Han pouted, seeing his serious face, she quietly accepted the bowl. Eat quickly, when cold it will not be tasty, he urged while taking a large bowl himself. It tastes delicious. Her eyes sparkled with surprise. It must be the salt. Phong tasted the flavor, much stronger than before. Yes, later we should add salt to grilled meat, it will taste better. She immediately thought of roasted meat. Not today, your throat is still inflamed, fishy food is not suitable. He scolded with a roll of his eyes. For throat illness, one must eat lightly, avoiding fishy or spicy food. It's fine, I am not that fragile. She gulped the soup eagerly. Phong gave a helpless smile, knowing her body had been frail since childhood. Dinner was warm and full of joy. After eating, he turned the smoked fish to avoid mold. In the wild, food storage must be careful, especially in changing weather. Spoiled food could cause poisoning and damage the kidneys. Van Han, sitting in the sleeping bag, pointed at the items by the fire and asked, Phong, what is that? That is bark of wild banana, after treatment it can be woven into fabric. Ah? But doesn't it have sticky sap? She tilted her head, recalling children playing with banana trees, sticky sap clinging to their skin. Yes, it must be processed first. He remembered some knowledge and wanted to test later. I hope it works, then we will have clothes to wear. She dreamed, finding it novel to weave clothes herself. Then you will be busy. He teased. I don't mind. She replied innocently. Having work meant progress, without work they would soon be eliminated. They chatted, half an hour passed quickly. You are still unwell, sleep early. He advised. And you, when will you sleep? She asked. He planned to rest early to prepare for solving the water problem tomorrow. Half an hour later, he checked the smoked fish, adjusted positions, then stretched and went to the sleeping bag. Urging. As he entered, the small body of the girl pressed close, hugging him tightly. You are not asleep yet? He asked, stiffening. She pretended to sleep, breathing evenly. She had slept much during the day, so now she was not sleepy. Is it a natural reaction? He murmured. She suppressed a smile, proud of her disguise. Why is your leg not on me this time? He wondered. Cough, cough. His words made her cough, and instinctively she draped her leg over his thigh. Realizing it, her face flushed red. He smiled, feeling her warmth clearly, but did not expose her, quietly holding her to sleep. Chapter 95, The Northern Waterway. A peaceful day passed, birds chirped again like a morning melody. No. Van Hans slowly opened her eyes, drowsy expression, long eyelashes fluttering before she fully awoke. Her gaze turned dark, then she realized her face was pressed against So Fong's chest, her hand around his waist, her leg draped across his thigh. Last night, shy and pretending to sleep, she had drifted off unknowingly. The cold must be gone. She felt her body full of energy, no weakness like yesterday. She lifted her head a little, gazing at So Fong's sleeping face, his sharp yet gentle features, not dazzling but like a manga protagonist. No. His eyelids twitched. Startled, she quickly shut her eyes again, feigning sleep. Still sleepy, he murmured, Is it morning already? He had gone to bed early, the rest was comfortable. Lowering his gaze, he saw her flushed, beautiful face, her lashes trembling, and instantly knew she was faking. Is your illness better? He whispered, touching her forehead then comparing with his. In his half-dream he muttered, Why does it still feel warm? Not recovered? I am fine now. She suddenly opened her eyes, blushing as she mumbled, I am just hot, overheated. Really? His eyes fixed on her, lips curving into a mischievous smile. Why do I feel the warmth is just right? That is because your body is hot, releasing heat. She stammered an excuse. Really? His smile widened. Go away, you are too hot. She cried in embarrassment, curling inside the sleeping bag like a turtle. Ha ha ha. He laughed freely, starting his day by teasing the girl. Life in the wild was dull, any joy was precious. He stretched, moved his limbs, and smiled, today is fine weather, a good day to live. So Phong, what do you want for breakfast? Her voice came from the wooden hut, something light, or something else? How is your throat? He turned, calling back, watching her busy figure, feeling a strange stirring inside. Seeing her small frame tidying the wild greens, he murmured, indeed, 2 are better than 1. Then roasted fish. He laughed. Ah? Roasted fish this early? Isn't it too extravagant? She asked in surprise. Yes, I suddenly crave it. He answered casually, carrying the bucket to fetch water. Just remembering what I said last night. She pouted, watching his back, muttering, didn't expect you to have it sunderside. La la la. She hummed an aimless tune, quickly setting everything neatly, even arranging stones by the fire pit. When he returned, the hut was tidy, bamboo and wood stacked, bamboo tubes lined up. He realized only with a diligent girl could the shelter be this clean. Normally he didn't care, thinking it was fine, but yesterday after cooking all day the place was messy, now the difference was clear. What's wrong? She wiped sweat, puzzled why he didn't come in. You just recovered, don't overwork. He stepped in, putting down the bucket. I am not tired, I feel better than ever. She smiled like a flower. So Phong, the fire is out. She poked the ashes, finding no spark. I will light it. He nodded, having slept early so the fire died overnight. What will we do today? Sharpening blades. The sound startled her, she paused and asked, then what do I do? Peel bark for rope, we need a lot. He said softly. The northern waterway required ropes to secure bamboo, if only one person worked it would take all day. After the sun dries wood, gather more firewood. He continued. To prepare for days of rain, stock must be enough, without wood no cooking. Firewood? She looked at the pile, missing a third, nodded, yes, we should gather more. I will strip bark first. He finished sharpening and stood, stepping out. In the sunlight he traced time with a shadow again, muttering, later I will carve it in stone. He looked at the sun, guessing it was near 7. He thought silently, mark. The simulated screen appeared, today was the 9th day. 5 more days until the next 7-day reward. Chapter 96, Passing with Greater Refinement. They had been in the wilderness for 7 days, and the days passed peacefully without great danger. He walked toward the waterfall through the forest, stripping bark while searching for bamboo. Vice 6. So Phong still chose hibiscus trees for bark, cutting down good ones for supports or to store logs. After a while, hoo. So Phong sat catching his breath, looking at the trees and joking, if the city had so many trees, I would not only be fined but also detained. He felt his arms swelling with a warm flow, aching when touched. Seems I cannot chop too hastily. He muttered with a dry mouth. So Phong, come eat breakfast. From afar, Van Han called. Coming. He shouted back. The meal is ready. Seeing him arrive, Van Han rushed to help take the bark. All right. He smiled, releasing the bark with her help. I grilled 2 fish and made wild vegetable soup. She said cheerfully, then quickly fetched bamboo bowls, charcoal, and a small root. In the wild, all must be protected carefully, he did not want to return to the city with tooth decay or inflamed gums. Clatter clatter. All right. He smiled, receiving the towel to wipe his face. Surprised by such care, his fatigue vanished. Hurry, eat breakfast. She pulled him to the wooden tub where bamboo bowls were placed on a stone. Life is getting more refined. Entering, he saw bamboo tubes as plates, with grilled fish sprinkled with salt, decorated with mint leaves. In a restaurant, such a table might be scorned, but here it was exquisite. Life should have rituals, you said that. She smiled, just a few minutes of arranging yet uplifting. Ah? Did I say that? He sat down in surprise. Humph, I will not tell you. She pouted. He twitched, maybe he forgot something. This fish I grilled with pine wood. She happily said. Then I must taste it well. He picked golden fish, tore it apart, still dotted with salt. And go? After chewing twice, his eyes widened, thumb up, then grabbed another piece. Eat more. Her smile grew brighter as she ate too. Such a refined meal, when streamed, made the audience flood with comments. This loli looks healthy, not like sick. Who online wanted to eliminate her, does she look sick? Seeing this, my girlfriend called me Papa, give me grilled fish with pine wood. Ha, the little witch returns for revenge. Viewers argued loudly, leaving the host embarrassed. Wang Lin doubted the director was setting him up. Why each time with So Phong and Van Han his face was slapped? Today just went live, what a situation. Ahem, Teacher Wang, it seems Van Han is fine. Ha Min quickly covered. No, so Phong found herbs to cure her. Wang Lin replied frankly. Mistakes admitted, for in the wild, errors could cost lives. Yes, a little herb can cure a light fever. He added. Now his view of So Phong changed, even knowing herbs, so he could survive longer. Jia Weiting thought it was not simple. Yesterday his wild soup had several herbs used in tonic medicine. Could So Phong have trained martial arts or folk skills? So amazing? Wu Tingyu blinked in surprise, for her illness meant hospitals and injections. Of course, Chinese herbal knowledge is profound. Ha Min affirmed. I also want to try living in the wild. Wu Tingyu watched them having warm breakfast, a dream of girlhood. Wang Lin wanted to speak, but seeing her innocent eyes, he stayed silent. There will be a chance. Ha Min smiled with meaning. Chapter 97, Saving Some Food. So Phong drank 2 bowls of soup and ate 1 grilled fish, then patted his belly and said to the girl, "The rest is all yours." Yes. Van Han nodded and kept eating fish soup. No one is fighting with you, eat slowly. So Phong smiled. Humans live on food. After a tiring day, if even a meal must be rushed, then what meaning is there to life? While eating, Van Han suddenly looked up and said, "So Phong, we should save some, maybe smoke some fish." As the one in charge of cooking, she had to consider long-term and save food. Just eat, I found a hunting ground, in 2 days I will go. So Phong said seriously. Earlier he explored a hill and found deer, just waiting, 1 deer could feed them for 10 days. It is true, I found deer. So Phong smiled faintly. Deer? Really? Van Han widened her eyes in surprise. Yesterday while gathering herbs I saw them. So Phong said slowly. Will it not be very hard to catch deer? Van Han worried, even predators sometimes fail. Actually. So Phong left the hut, pulled bamboo poles and walked into the forest. Since he had bow and arrow skills, the worry for food was halved, if not then he could still lure fish to eat. Crack, crack. First plan the route, straight is best for bamboo. He measured while staring at the trees. Luckily the shelter was lower than the water source, so he did not need to set bamboo too high, just follow the slope. Fixed the first point. He tied the first bamboo to a tree as support, if no trees then hammered wooden stakes. This way was faster but used more rope, and clearing was harder. Van Han braided rope could not keep up, so Phong cut vines on the spot to tie, bamboo poles spread toward the waterfall. After 4 hours, huff, huff. So Phong panted, tried the bamboo too but only a few drops came out, not even half a sip. Already dry. Crack. A twig broke behind him, he turned with axe ready. It is me. Van Han shouted, So Phong, it is me. Why are you here? He calmed down, lowered the axe. She rolled her eyes and scolded, You were late, so I brought water. Was it far from the water source? She set the rope down and asked, Will it be done today? Not too far, it should finish today. He wiped sweat, dropped the bamboo. Bamboo was ready, only a segment left, so work was faster. I will cook lunch for you, she said, carrying the pot. Just put some seaweed in the soup. He whispered. I know. She waved with a smile. Crack, crack. He cut branches, raised bamboo and tied tightly so wind would not blow it off. The sun was high, hot light burned, steam rose from the forest, the whole island felt like a sauna. After half an hour, it is really hot. He drank the last water and squatted to rest. His energy was gone, breakfast calories burned out, his body weak. So Phong, I am here. Van Han called. He turned, saw her carrying an iron pot carefully. He rushed over, took it, You need not bring it here, I could eat at camp. Eat now, you must be hungry. She urged, taking bowl and chopsticks out. You did not eat? he asked, noticing she brought only one set. I do not need, I will eat at night. She smiled. He opened the pot, saw 2 fish and some seaweed, asked suspiciously, why 2 fish? Of course, to replenish your strength, you sweated a lot. She answered naturally. He fell silent, remembering she said to save food in the morning. Now she gave him 2 fish. Do not be dazed, eat and rest, she said gently, then took the axe to cut vines. Really? He muttered, watching her stand on tiptoe pulling vines. At that moment, his heart beat fast. Chapter 98, The Bamboo Waterway. What is it? Van Han was weaving vines into loops, then turned and saw So Phong lost in thought. Is the fish soup bad? So Phong gave a sly smile, then hid it. Ah. Not good? Van Han frowned in surprise. Did I put too much salt? Yes, try it yourself. So Phong teased, offering the bamboo bowl. But I do not remember adding much salt. Van Han put down the knife, took the bowl, blew on it, and drank. At once she knew she was tricked. So Phong. Van Han stretched the tone, pouting, her bright eyes glaring at him. Seeing his smirk, she understood. What is it? He feigned ignorance. Humph, keep pretending. Van Han rolled her eyes, sat beside him, and pushed the bowl back. Maybe my taste buds are broken. So Phong made an excuse. I will eat later anyway. Van Han muttered. Really? Save it for dinner? He asked calmly. No. She averted her gaze, though she had wanted to keep it. She wanted to save food, but seeing him so tired, she felt sorry and decided he should eat more while she cut back. Tastes good. He did not expose her, just ate slowly. Van Han swallowed secretly, then went back to cutting vines. Here, you eat too. So Phong handed her the bowl. They had shared a bowl many times, so it felt natural. They had never thought of it as something else. But to the viewers, it was explosive. Oh my, the little girl and the hero kissed indirectly. Mother, give me such a girl, I will never regret it. I prefer the boy, he is so heartwarming, such detail melts me. Pfft, you are cruel, trying to ruin them? Draw your swords, today we fight. So Phong and Van Han ate lunch quietly, taking turns with the bamboo bowl, finishing after half an hour. Van Han tidied up and said, So Phong, you were so willful. Ha? He was startled. I will go braid ropes. She smiled brightly and left with the iron pot. So Phong shrugged helplessly, stood up with the axe. After all, someone tolerated his whims. Creak, creak. After lunch, refreshed, he worked harder. He hauled more bamboo, brought ropes, and sped up. He went near the water source, saving time since he had explored before. After 4 hours, as the sun set, the bamboo waterway was complete. Finally done. He sat down, watching water flow into the bamboo pipes. He looked up at the sunset, smiling. Van Han, you must see the water running now. Minutes later, her clear voice rang out. So Phong, water is here. I know. He replied. The stand is low, water spills. The entrance is crooked, half leaks. NK Books. So Phong, water is here. She laughed by the outlet, waiting for him. Tomorrow I will build a stone ditch, we can wash clothes and vegetables here. He said softly. Van Han worried. Will beasts come to drink at night? So Phong frowned, scanning the camp. Tomorrow we will fix around the camp, use branches as a fence. He had long planned this for safety. Is it too big a project? She worried, seeing the wide rocky camp. No need to enclose all, just the water and shelter first. He shook his head. Later they could expand, maybe even grow a garden. That works. Van Han nodded. Chapter 99, Still Claiming You Are Not Hurt? The wooden cage was dragged back to use as a bath, so they did not need to weave another. Later, if time allowed, he even wanted to build a proper bathhouse. All right. Van Han nodded in agreement. Taking advantage of the remaining daylight, So Phong ran toward the pond, and after a few minutes he arrived. After checking the safety of the cage, he dragged it back. He placed it beside the water source, muttering to himself, "When free, I must collect resin to make torches." Then he walked toward the wooden hut, and even before entering, the smell of seafood made his mouth water. "What is so sour?" Van Han asked curiously. "The smell of sweat." So Phong sat on a rock by the fire. "So you want to bathe?" Van Han frowned. "Yes, I need to wash a little, the smell is too strong." So Phong nodded. Without washing, the sticky body would be hard to bear and hard to sleep. Excessive sweat without cleaning would attract mosquitoes, and hidden spots could be rubbed raw. More importantly, it could cause itching or even allergies, especially for those used to cleanliness. But the weather is so cold now, if you bathe in cold water and catch a cold, what then? Van Han asked with concern. She had a fear of cold baths. In the city it was fine, but in the wild, sickness meant elimination. So Phong pointed to his firm abs and smiled, "If I do not wash, tonight I will smoke you unconscious." At night we sleep in each other's arms. I am bare. Imagine pressing close to a body full of foul sweat and grease. That feeling is like coming home on a hot summer day. In the firelight, his bare torso gleamed with sweat. "I would not despise you," the girl whispered shyly. "HM? What did you say? I did not hear." So Phong asked. "No, nothing." She shook her head, then suggested, "If so, boil some hot water to wipe the body instead." In truth, she too had sweated much today and planned to wipe herself. "Hot bath?" Van Han asked curiously. "How can we have hot water to bathe?" "Do not rush, tomorrow or the next day you will know." So Phong smiled. "You?" Van Han pouted. Seeing him acting secretive, she rolled her eyes in frustration. In the end, she had no choice but to swallow her curiosity and wait for his reveal. Clang, clang, clang. The pot of fish soup boiled, bubbles rising under the lid. "The soup is ready." Van Han lifted the lid, steam rising and moistening the smoked fish hanging above. Dinner tonight was 2 fish stewed with seaweed, plus a pot full of fish soup. Van Han scooped soup into bamboo bowls, each received a fish with a heap of seaweed. She had grown smart, never again leaving odd numbers of fish, so no need to argue about sharing. So Phong, starving, immediately ate hungrily. "Eat slowly, careful not to burn yourself," Van Han reminded gently. Yesterday she had not finished weaving shoes because of a cold, so tonight she planned to weave more pairs for So Phong. "What is it?" So Phong noticed her staring blankly, then looked down at his feet. His shoes had long been ruined, bound roughly with rope. "Your soles are not injured, right?" Van Han asked softly. Thud. The left shoe slipped off, revealing his blackened sole. Van Han tilted her head, checking carefully, relieved no new wounds appeared. "Phew." So Phong also sighed. Thud. The right shoe fell, leaving only rope across his foot. Van Han's sharp eyes immediately spotted a wound. Why did both shoes fall off? So Phong forced a smile, quickly lowering his foot. "Wait, your sole is wounded." Van Han put down her bowl, crouched in front of him, and without caring for dirt, lifted his foot with her pale hands. "Ouch." So Phong steadied himself, setting the bowl aside to avoid spilling. "Still saying you are not hurt?" Van Han frowned, scolding. "Look, this wound is already a bit infected. If infection was not treated in time, the wound would rot and spread, leading to dangerous complications like tetanus or sepsis." Ugh. So Phong was speechless. It was not his first wound, usually after some rest, the medicine. In his body would work and small wounds would heal quickly. But this, he could not explain to her. Chapter 100, Envy and Longing. Today no one remembered anything else, all were busy weaving ropes. How could I blame you? I was the one who told you to sleep. So Phong quickly waved his hand. I was sick with a cold. Van Han's face was full of guilt. So Phong was about to say something, but the girl's actions interrupted him. Several bamboo tubes, 5 or 6 in number, were filled with cooled boiled water, all prepared by the girl for him. Van Han, no need, I can wash with the stream. Seeing her actions, he knew what she intended. No need what? Van Han blared angrily, you are injured, you cannot wash your wound in the stream, what if it gets infected? So Phong awkwardly closed his mouth, she was right. If he insisted otherwise, it would only make her look foolish. Foolish, she was not, she was smarter than most, skilled at reading people. Stay still. Van Han said sternly, squatting to hold his foot, looking like a doctor. Does it hurt? Her gentle voice asked, white hands carefully holding his foot, the water turned black. No pain. He shook his head. Such a big wound, and you say no pain? She rolled her eyes angrily. She looked at the long wound on his sole, pink flesh visible. Truly no pain, just a little itchy. He said honestly, the pain had passed, or he had grown used to it. Then it must be closing. She sighed in relief, using her hem to dry his foot. Wait, no need to wipe, just use fire to burn it. He said quickly, trying to pull his foot back. Smack. She slapped his foot, seriously saying, behave, stay still. He was stunned, was she treating him like a baby? This scene made the live audience explode, the screen full of comments. Such a cute lowly, I want to marry her. Get lost, she is ours. In this life I will marry no one but this lowly. My God, where can we find a girl so caring? So Phong is shameless, letting her wash his foot. So envious, really shameless. Without his skills, you cannot have a Van Han. Go away, other women are bad, we only want Van Han. The chat turned into a battlefield of arguments, feminism and mocking clashed. Yet the viewers did not know, at this moment he was both helpless and moved, seeing her yellow hem soaked. Alright, lift your foot, do not touch the ground. She washed her hands, then went to the pile of wild herbs. She recalled old Wang saying that a weed called thornleaf could heal wounds, leaves long like a sword, edges serrated. In his gentle gaze, she ran off with thornleaf to wash them. Yesterday she was grounded by him, now it was his turn. Minutes later she returned with wet thornleaf, placed them by the fire to dry. Put them down, eat dinner first, or it will get cold. He said helplessly. Wait a bit, almost done. She shook her head, drying each leaf. So stubborn. He shrugged. He did not know this look made viewers want to hit him. Look at him, still annoyed. Why is my childhood sweetheart treating him better? I cannot, I laugh. Minutes later she put the dried thornleaf into a bamboo tube, mashed them into porridge, then placed it aside. She entered the hut, brought out cloth, and cut it with a hatchet. Van Han, do not use it all, save cloth for yourself. He hurriedly shouted. She wanted to make bandages for his wound. He fell silent, unable to explain, accepting her care. 5 or 6 minutes passed. Done. She tied the bandage on his instep with a bow.